Hi, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Thanks.
Hi and welcome back to the channel. So in the last video we created our form and we did some validation as well. Since the last video I just applied the validations for these fields. So if I submit my form now, you can see I get 4 validation errors, all of them unique to the fields, and if I start type in, the validation errors goes away. If I resubmit, of course the validation error doesn't come back. Okay, so since the last video I noticed some typos I made. First one is I missed the max from here, so we need to add max to the validation. And one more typo in the domain registrar component, where we grab the file. So we check it first of all if there is any file, and if there is a file then we want to grab it, and in the last video I missed the S from the files. So this is the correct way to do it. Okay, and in the last video I just did the validation feedback for the URL. So I added a class to the URL if any validation error, and I showed the error as well. And if I hit any key down, the validation error disappears. So I just did it for the email. Okay, so in this video we will learn how to pass the data to Laravel controller and how to save it into the database. So we are using Vue.js on the front end. We pass the data with axios and save the data into the database with Laravel. Okay, so basically we already know how to pass the data to the Laravel controller. So let's just go to the controller and I copy and paste the saving from the original project to save some time. Okay, so after the validation we will need to call a new domain class. So we're referring to this app domain. So we are calling a new one and we create a variable for that. And to the domain title, which is referring to the database. So in the database we have title, URL, short description, and description, image, email, and paid. We don't saving the paid fields yet, so we are referring to them here. So here is the email, the URL, the short description, the description, image. Here is the image, and category, subcategory, and payment ID. So we are deleting this payment ID for now because it is related to the PayPal payment. Okay, and we are where basically we are saving the title from the request title, which is coming from the front end, email, URL, and I'm using short disk and disk. So let me just check this because I think I'm using these on the front end, short disk and description. So let's just check it. Yeah, I'm using short disk for short description and disk for the main description. So that's how we pass the data to the controller. So that's how we need to grab this short disk and disk, and we are saving into the short description inside the database and description inside the database. Short description and description. Okay, and then we check if the request has any image file. If has image file, then we explode the image. So we grab the image first. So request image will be equal to image variable. Then we grab the extension of the image. So we create an extension variable which will be equal to this image client original extension. So get client original extension, and we save it in this variable, and we create a name. We could name it as the original name. So for example, the user upload an image file called test.jpg, then we could just save it as it is. But for example, if the client's uploading images with the same image name, so two different clients uploads, for example, test.jpg, then it's mess up our application. So we need to give for each image a unique name. So we are creating a name variable. Okay, so we will have a timestamp. We can concatenate it to the original name. And then we have this store disk, and we want to store to the public with the name what we just created, and we get the file from this variable and save it to the public folder. And then inside our database where we have this image field, I'm talking about this one, we save the image name so we can refer it later on. If the customer doesn't upload any image, then to this we just define a default image, which in this case default.jpg. So we need to create a file, image file with this name and save it inside the public folder, so every customer get the default image. But if they upload an image, then we save the actual image they uploaded, and then we save this new domain into our database, and basically that's it. We will get a response over the Vue.js side, and it will reset our form, so everything is okay, no error. Then we reset our form. If there is any error, then we displaying the error message to the user. And by the way, I'm using VS Code autosave, so that's why I don't saving these anymore. Okay, so let's just test this. So my domains table is empty at the moment. Let's hit refresh. So let's select gaming. Let's give it a test email and some dummy URL. Okay, and let's select a file for now. Let's select this cupcakes. Cupcakes are related to the gaming website. Gaming website, short description, and this will be the long description, and let's make it a heading 2, and let's make it italic. Okay, let's bring up the console, submit my domain, and we have errors. And yeah, storage not found. It's because we want to save our image using this storage, but we haven't imported in yet. Just storage, and we use file as well. And it's already saved. I think we don't even need to refresh the page now. It should save it. And as you can see, we have no errors now. And our form has been resetted. And if we check our database, gaming website. We have saved the main category, subcategory ID. This is the title, this is the URL we just gave, the short description, and this is the long description. And we have just saved this file with the timestamp and the original name. This is the email address, and we haven't passed this paid field yet. So by default it's 0. Okay, and let's just check this image file where it had been saved. So what we normally want, we want to save our files into our public folder. So I'm inside the application folder, and we want to save our images to this public/img. But by default it's saving to storage app public, and that's where we have this image file. As you can see, that's what we saved. So in order to save to the public folder, just need to go to the config folder, file systems.php, and if you scroll down, you can see we using the disk and the public. So storage disk public, and we want to put the file into there. And if you check it now, it says URL is /storage. So that's why where it saves into the public folder. So that's why we have into this storage app public folder, because this is the main URL, storage app public. But instead of this, we want to save our images to our public folder img. So we want to save our images into the public folder. So let's just call it img, and we don't need the public, or you can do uploads if you want, but I just want to save it straight into the img folder. And instead of the storage, we want to go to the public folder. Hit refresh. Let's do it again. Test2. Blah blah blah. Let's grab another image. Hit save. Our form has been resetted. Our image has been saved, and let's check our folder. And it hasn't been saved here. Let's check it again. I think it's saved inside this storage. Let's test it out now. Okay, and it's working now. So it's still working on different way on the shared hosting, but on your local machine you need to define the path here. Basically it will ignore this path But if you do it as it is, so if you want to add an extra uploads folder inside the imgs, then you can do that if you want. Okay, so as you can see, our last try was successful and it's saved our file here. Okay, and it's saved into our database as well. Okay, so that's it for this video. Next time we are displaying our domains inside different categories, just like on the original project. We have 4 websites registered in all the different, and we are showing all the different categories, and we can loop through our registered websites. Food, finance, YouTube, as you can see. Okay, so that's what we're creating in the. Thanks for watching, bye.